Do you like bans? I like bans, especially when they are justified and they target questionable people. And it turns out we got a lot of those last week, with the targeted bans going for public figures. So last year, one Riot legend rose above the rest. Drew Levin. This is a writer who became known for two things: replying to 100 tweets in a day, I wish I was kidding, and for publicly shaming all kinds of TOS offenders. And every time one of these happens, it turns into a spectacle. Now, because Vanguard is a thing, and Vanguard is very good at catching actual cheaters, the vast majority of the bans that Drew has to deal with are toxicity and boosting. And oh boy, do these get hilarious. Especially because sometimes when you crave a little bit of internet entertainment, all you really have to do is just look at Drew's replies on Twitter, and you can find some gems. What? I solo queued my ranked games. Please help? Drew Levin, please clown on me, I'm so confused. You see, people do these a lot. And I refuse to believe that people don't do this as a last public stunt after they have done something bad. Because if they've done something bad, they know what they've done. And so, do you really think that Riot, with all of their backlogs, won't be able to find what you did? Now sure, here you might be asking, why does Riot even have all the backlogs? Isn't GDPR supposed to protect Europeans from gathering personal data? Well, there is a loophole because legally you are able to hold malicious data if you detect that it is malicious for a number of years. This is in case something really bad happens and the police actually need evidence. So yes, Riot is technically legally clear. Anyway, with this being legally clear, Drew Levin replied, yeah, for sure, this Yone you won 5 games with wasn't actually bronze. They are a professional boosting service. Again, there's a lot of these replies on the internet. And my favorite is probably this one. So what did I do that warranted a 30-day ban out of nowhere? Hello, since you've quote replied a dozen of my tweets with this, I'll quote this instead of replying to any single one of them. Here is what you did at a one-time speed. For context, 3 of your 4 teammates reported you in this game. The reason this was a 30-day ban is because this isn't your first time doing this kind of a thing. Going back through the history, you did the exact same thing on May the 20th. You hit the 0-6 into sell your entire inventory Yasuo combo on April the 28th. You did this on March the 12th, again on March the 2nd, and again on February the 19th. If anything, we've been too willing to give you opportunities to reform. Feel free to quit. Your penalty is well placed and will not be lifted. You see, it is awesome that this comes from an actual rioter. After which there was also the hee incident, where a person who literally does nothing but throw games in League tweeted hehe after running it down as Nunu in Classic, to which Drew replied, only 18 games of this before calling it quits. You've gone soft. Your heart just isn't in it anymore. I can tell. Really weak. Again, actual writer. Anyway, we just nuked your entire hardware. See you when you get another computer. To which someone actually had a real question, which you might be asking right now as well, and it did actually get a real legit answer. Real question, since I'm early for once. Can the system really not detect 18 games of this? I have no idea how differently, if at all, the Classic system is. But surely, with match termination and Vanguard, 18 games is quite a miss. We didn't put all our detections on Classic because we didn't think people would be pathetic enough to run it down in unranked games. So yes, there is simply a lot of these situations going on. And for a lot of them, Riot is actually trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. But in most cases, this benefit doesn't work. And so, bans are flying left and right. And only last week, we got 2 big ones. With the first one being Panzer Dragon. Now, Pants is a content creator that has actually been with League from the very beginning. We are actually talking about one of the OGs. Now, over the years, there were some allegations that crept up. I'll be honest, I'm not someone who's really watching gameplay creators that much, so I'm totally in the blind here. But after my 2 minutes of research, I decided I am not touching any of this. Instead, we'll be focusing on why this ban happened. So, on Twitter and Reddit, bans already had a bad reputation for throwing games and being AFK, and generally just being toxic. And overall, it is obvious he didn't really read the summoner conduct at the beginning of the game. Now, there is a chance that Riot kinda let him go for a while, because he's been in the creator ecosystem for a long time, and so maybe Riot was giving him a little bit of wiggle room. But after 3 separate cases of going AFK or leaving in a single month, as a public figure, things started getting smelly. And what didn't help is that he publicly admitted to doing this on purpose.
I've seen a lot of posts on Reddit about you throwing games otherwise in team matches. If you don't mind me asking, I mean, if it's PB, you should play to win. No, because if I'm not posting it to YouTube or Facebook, it's like a waste of my time. So if I have 2 deaths at the beginning of the game, at that point, it's not going on YouTube.
Because all he actually really cares about is the views and the money that comes out of it. Which is normal for YouTubers, within reason. But it's funny when it comes from someone whose 90% of all content is reactions to bows. And I mean reactions to the entire streams. Now, one might assume that this is where the situation stops. But no, you see, after this public admission, Riot stepped in and he got banned. Now, it was a temporary ban, but it was a ban nonetheless. After which, during one of his 24-hour restreams, are these really necessary? I wish I was kidding! He forgot to mute his microphone as he was on a call with someone else, where he kept calling them stupid because nobody knew he was banned. Well, now everybody knew.
No, but no one knows I got banned. Are you dumb?
And to make things feel like we are really dealing with a villain from 90s cartoons, he ripped out a big one in the call.
No, I'm not. You're so stupid. No one knows but us.
Yes, and so the community dubbed Farts Are Dragon was born. But this still wasn't the end. Because after the ban got public, because he forgot to mute his microphone, he replied to what he has done. At first, he reacted to his full clip in complete silence, but because he's watching himself, he already knew what happened, so what's the point of the reaction? After which he dressed like Batman and said that sometimes you have to do bad things for good things to happen. I'm yet to see a good thing. And so he didn't address anything, he didn't really do anything, and his reputation is currently in shambles. Though again, from what I've heard, previously it wasn't really that much better. And I'm not diving any deeper. But hey, that's the League of Legends community for you. But of course, this entire situation still happened on the more casual side of League of Legends. But besides this, there's also been a ban that happened on the more pro side. And that's where the bans have a lot more weight. And this is exactly what happened to Ronaldo. So again, after a bit of research, Ronaldo is a streamer that was aiming for rank 1 on EU West. But on his journey, he's been called out quite a few times. Because other creators noticed that he's been ghosting them. But how could the creators tell that he was ghosting them? Well, every time he popped up in a lobby against a streamer, he mysteriously banned their main. Even in the cases where the picks were extremely niche and nobody would ever ban them, which made it very obvious. And yes, apparently Ronaldo has been doing this for months, and he even publicly stated that yes, if someone mains one champion, it would be an advantage to use that against them and ban their main, ignoring the fact you got that knowledge illegitimately. And so, after he tweeted the rank 1 tweet, everyone had enough. Riot wouldn't want their rank 1 to be a cheater, and so their ban hammer has fallen. Hi Ronaldo! Several players brought this post to our attention alongside the evidence of repeated stream sniping. After conducting an investigation into the matter, we have conducted that you have repeatedly violated our policy against stream sniping in your rank 1 climb. Our policy can be found here. Yes, if you actually go and check the policy, there is a section for stream sniping. I love this! As a result, we are doing the following. Your account is banned for 2 weeks. You will not receive ranked rewards for the season that just ended. We are reverting your LP from the season that just ended to Master 0. While many of your results are legitimate, your abuse of stream sniping for advantage taints your climb, and we will not allow it to stand. We encourage you to play honorably in the future. And so, yes, after this 2-week ban, Riot is technically giving him a second chance. Or whatever chance it might be at this point, because he's been doing it for a while. And that's simply because, again, not only has Ronaldo ghosted in the past, but he also apologized to those players in the past and said that he would never do it again. But here we are. How the League of Legends community will never change.